Sagittarius, hi. So this is going to be a reading for July 27th through August 2nd. And I'll take a look into your recent past, your current energies, and your immediate future. And then I'll close it off with a couple of cards from the universe for you. And these are general readings, so they may not resonate for all of you. If they do, there is an extended. At the end of the video, you can check out the link for that in the description box below if you want. Let's see, Saggy. What do we got? The overall energy for the reading, the Four of Pentacles. We've got a little bit of stubbornness. You're hanging on to something there quite tightly. In the recent past, the King of Swords, the Empress, the Three of Swords. Ooh, you've been hurt. You've been burned here. And you're showing up with that statement and also saying, yeah, tell me about it. Someone you care deeply about, you're definitely putting a lot of effort, a lot of energy in their direction, but man, there's pain at the end of that. Okay, in the current situation, the Moon, the Temperance card, the Hierophant, these are big, major arcana energies. Something's happening for you at a very, very deep level. I can't tell exactly what it is because it's also very, as big as it is, that's how subtle it is too. It's almost like you're just minding your business, you know, living your life, and then something is happening in the background of all of that where you don't even see it yet. But it's something big. Okay. In the immediate future, the Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, the World card. You're kind of putting yourself on the back burner there. You're kind of saying, I'll take care of my needs as soon as something's done. You know, until then, I can't really focus on that. I can't. If anything, that's when it's most important to take care of yourself. You can't just postpone you until something is done. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Let's clarify. Let's do the Four of Pentacles. The Moon, the Five of Cups, the Star. That's what you're hanging on to. You're a little stuck in the past here. You're a little stuck in the past. Just by this one little statement that you're saying, something that might belong to the past. You're saying, I want that. You've passed it. It's a done deal. It's in the past. So just by that one little statement, you're keeping yourself stuck in the past. You know? It's a little tricky though, because I see you trying to justify this energy, being like, oh, the heart wants what it wants. Is it the heart? Or is it your stubbornness? You know, so I don't know what to say about that one. It just keeps you stuck in the past, whatever it is. Let me do the Moon, not the Moon, the King of Swords in the recent past. You get the Two of Wands, the Emperor, the Hierophant. Okay. Yeah, it took a minute for you to open up to whatever that was over there. Maybe this is what you want. It took a minute, but when you did fully, with everything you had. You know, I think initially you tried to take this as rational as possible, as, you know, where the mind came in and probably told you, hey, let's not rush into things. Let's not just open up to this from minute one with everything. You know, we'll open up. We'll see where it's going. We'll see. In time, I see you fully open to this. Like 100%, everything you are, everything you got, to that. Let's do the Empress. The Seven of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles. It wasn't and now I'm gonna get this word. Fuck this shit. Reciprocated. It wasn't. You gave it all you had. They didn't. You know, they gave what they had at that moment in time, but it doesn't match your energy there in the openness to this. So it becomes uneven. It's nobody's fault here. It's not your fault that you're giving it your all. It's, well, no. This is not a fault game, you know. Oh, yeah, yeah, it's their fault that they didn't match what I was given. No. You may have thought that, but no. Nobody's fault. That's what you had available at that moment in time for that experience, both of you. You know? It just doesn't match. For the Three of Swords in the recent past, you get the Sun, the Three of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords. And it eventually ended up in a potential painful situation where you keep on chasing happiness in that place, which makes sense from where you open up to this, because you give it your all, you expect it all back, right? Well, but no, that didn't happen. Happiness didn't happen. Quite the opposite. And from an energetic standpoint, from this angle, I can see why it ended up very, very complicated, and you on a continuous, almost infinite chase of happiness there. You know? Let me do the Moon in the current situation. The Empress, the Queen of Wands, the Four of Wands. Yeah, you're still feeling very much connected to whatever energy that is. You're even showing up in a sense of certainty, in a sense of, I'm sure that at some point it's going to happen. I will find that happiness that I keep on chasing here. You're just a little more private with it than you were in the past. So that usually indicates a sense of, to some extent, knowing that, you know, if you were to open up to this in the way that you used to, at least, maybe you wouldn't feel safe or understood by your friends, family, whoever you want to open up to about this. So it's almost looking like you're keeping it to yourself. There's almost like a secret desire that shows up here over that, whatever that is. Like I'm still hanging on to that. Let me do the Temperance card and the current situation. You get the King of Cups, the Seven of Wands, the Page of Cups. Okay, realistically speaking, I feel like there's a little more awareness to you in the sense of probably by this point you realize that, hey, things weren't reciprocated there. Things weren't even. I feel like you may have gotten to the understanding of, you know, just because I show up fully open, that doesn't automatically mean that the other energy is supposed to open up in the same way. So there's a little bit of more acceptance on your end. There's a little bit of more awareness. There's still a little bit of, because at some point I see you being like, you know, my heart is still open to whatever, whoever. I don't want it to be, though. You know, I kind of want to do my thing. There's been a lot of healing overall over that situation, but you're still hanging on to that energy. You know, again, a little bit secretive, a little bit like if I were your friend, well, I would be able to tell because I can read people, but like somebody else that can't wouldn't know that, hey, you're still hanging on to that. I may do the Hierophant. In the current situation, you get the Fool, the Four of Pentacles, the King of Wands. I mean, again, you're trying to do your best despite the fact that you're still hanging on to the past energy, which again kind of keeps you a little bit stuck in the past. But there's a little bit of conflict of interest here, because most of your energy at this moment in time wants to move forward, wants to keep on going, wants the best for you. So again, that tells me there's been a lot of healing at play over whatever happened there. But there's still a little bit of something within you that hangs on to that energy. Now, I don't know where things are in the physical as far as that energy goes. Like, are they still there? Did you kind of walk away from it? Did you, like, what happened there? I don't know. I don't see them around. I just see you hanging on to their energy, which holds you a little bit of a prisoner of the past. It could be that, hey, it's work in progress. This is not easy to just let go of this, and so on and so forth, which I can understand. I just want you to be aware that by you hanging on still to their energy is going to hold you a little stuck in the past, you know. But overall, you are coming through with a massive, massive energy of, you know, putting yourself first, moving forward, taking life as it comes, and embracing whatever experience shows up your way. You know, so again, work in progress here. It's not going to happen overnight. It may take months. It may take years. Who the hell knows? For you to be able to say, I release that energy, you know. I may do the Queen of Pentacles. In the immediate future, you get the Chariot, the Page of Wands, the Strength card. Why are you... There's something that needs to be done for you. There's something that comes from you to tell you, hey, you need to be doing this for you. And you're all cool with that. You're like, yeah, I want to do that. You are postponing this energy. And it's hard when you do that. It's very, very difficult for you to postpone this, to delay your self-care. But you are. You're like, yeah, I need to be doing this for myself. I'm just not going to do it now. And it's because you're waiting for something to conclude, or maybe you're waiting to let go of that energy. I don't, you know, why not now? You don't have the guarantee of tomorrow or even 5 minutes from now. So who knows how long this is going to take, you know? I don't know. For the Three of Wands, you get the Eight of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, the Devil. Yeah, you're telling me first I need to deal with something here. And then I'll do that for me. Then I'll put myself first. And I'll give myself all the attention I need. But first I need to deal with something that's nasty. It's nasty. I need to do something about that. And while that could be part of, you know, a concept of self-love, okay, you're dealing with something that's nasty. You want to either turn it into something not nasty or just remove it altogether from your life. I get it. But that's a process, and that could take a while. And I can see here time over it. So, and it's something that has to do with your stability. So it could be something at work or something, you know. And meanwhile, what you're doing is you could do both. You could still do something for you here and deal with what, if anything, this energy of putting yourself first is going to help you deal with the nasty. You know, it's not like one over the other or one versus the other. It doesn't really work that way unless you make it work that way. And that's exactly what you're doing. I'm going to postpone me in order to take care of this. I don't know how long that's going to take, but then I'm fully free to deal with this energy of self-love. Well, they can work together. For the World card in the immediate future, you get the Ace of Cups, the World card, the Two of Cups. Yeah, it's like, you know, saying, let's say, working out, right? You decided, okay, I'm gonna do this for me because I feel so good after I work out, even though it sucks while I do it, and then it could hurt a little bit after, but overall I feel way better when I do that. And that's something that I do for me because it's, you know, But it's like, but not today, because I got to study for this exam and this, that, and the other, and then tomorrow too, and then it might rain on another day, and then you feel sleepy and you feel you're better off taking a nap, and just not getting to it, just not getting to the part in which, okay, I'm going to create a schedule in which I work on no matter what happens. No, it's like every day you find something to interfere with this. And it's the same thing here. Now, I don't think this is about working out. I think this is something that you want to do specifically for you and your own sake and your own benefit. And then you're dealing with something else to the side of that, and you're saying, first I need to take care of this. But this requires a lot of energy. And you doing this, replenishing yourself, actually might be very beneficial as you're dealing with the nasty here. It's, again, kind of postponing something here for, when things are going to be good again, that's when I'm going to do that. And again, I don't know. I think one would help the other. But that's just me. Let me see what the universe has as a final advice for you. The Eight of Cups, the King of Pentacles, the Emperor. There's something very, very nagging. And I think this is about work for you. If, let's say, you're dealing with a very nasty boss or company or colleague at work, and this energy comes through as you feeling like you need a vacation, I don't know, for a week or something. You're like, well, first things need to get better at work, and then I can take a vacation. And, realistically speaking, you can take a vacation at any time. Why do you have to wait for this situation to be okay? And what guarantees it's going to be okay? There are no guarantees, really, right? Well, it might get better at some point, so I'm going to wait for that first. I would think you may need a vacation because it's been so bad here, and then, whatever happens when it happens, but I don't know. But anyways, that's what I have for you. Hope this helped, and I'll see you next time. Bye.